Hi, and welcome to Ticket to Life. And I am Henry, and I would like to welcome anyone new to the show. Mi casa su casa, meaning my home is your home, or perhaps I should say, mi podcast es su podcast. Well, anyway, welcome to Ticket to Life. And if you are a new listener, bienvenidos, welcome. What is Ticket to Life actually about? I will tell you. I actually need to update the introduction to myself. It's a very first episode. And that's where I tell people about myself and actually about the podcast. But I'm going on year 4. Things have changed. So I plan to share that with you eventually. But for now, I will leave that podcast as it is. And actually, I will give you a brief synopsis of Ticket to Life. And what it is about is life, anything, everything, actually, just about anything in life, ups and downs, and celebrations, and disappointments, and why. Because unfortunately, that is life. We do have ups and downs, and we do have good times and bad times. But again, that's life. But the thing is, I always want you to know that you are not alone in anything that you could possibly be going through. Someone somewhere has possibly gone through the actual same thing. Um, I have a disclaimer before I get chatting, and I'll forget to tell you what that disclaimer is, and that is everything I say on Ticket to Life are my opinions. And I'm not a doctor, therapist, or life coach. Definitely not a love guru. Sorry about that. I forgot to turn my phone off. But anyway, again, these are my opinions, and that's all they are. They're just my opinions, and I am so thrilled that people actually enjoy listening to this, and I am very appreciative. And today, I am going to talk about something that some people will go, "What?" The name of this podcast is I Am Such a Hypocrite. So now that I've gotten the disclaimer out of the way, let me tell you about myself and being a hypocrite. Honestly, I can tell you, I know that I am. And some may not think that they are. They may think, oh, there's no way, I am no way a hypocrite. But you might feel different after I finish my spiel here. Now, I will tell you that having a podcast and talking about anything and just about everything is fun. And I enjoy doing it. And many times, or sometimes, some of these podcasts, well, never mind, the majority of these podcasts are about people that I know, I have known in my past, and the people that I have met, and even some family members. I like talking about things that I know, and if I don't know about a certain topic, I Google it. Um, Now, what makes me a hypocrite is that I am a Catholic Christian and I love God from infinity and beyond. Um, and I try, as I'm sure most of us do, I try not to criticize those that um, we may not be too fond of or talk about people such as family, friends, coworkers. Um, okay, people basically in general. But you can admit to yourself that you don't criticize people. If you can actually say, I don't criticize anyone, I don't talk about anyone. And if you don't do that, please tell me, how do you do that? I probably would not have a podcast if I did not tell you some of these past stories about divorce, back the blue, swingers, uh, baby makes 3. I use different stories that I'm hoping will help people. Now, those who gossip might think that they are being hypocritical, although being someone who gossips is usually, in my opinion, use somebody negative or often involves judging others and being negative and sometimes making things up or making things sound much worse than the situation is. I know some people that do this. They can get a small little story and they embellish it. Embellishing makes it sound so much better than saying they're being malicious. I unfortunately I do know some people that do this, but guess what? They consider themselves good Christians too. Now, I am a hypocrite, but I'm a bit bolder in life that I will not hesitate and flat out ask someone why they believe in one thing or do the other. I don't sit there and just like, well, wait, you just said this and you're telling me you don't believe in it, but you do it. So I used to really say things and just would spew out of my mouth. And I'm trying to get better at that. And then it was just too late. It was just spew. I was just, and I just, all my thoughts were just being thrown out there. It was an uh-oh moment when I would hurt someone's feelings. And then I'd feel like a heel. Not to worry, I know. I'm wrong and I would apologize most of the time because sometimes if I hurt someone's feelings, I didn't know it until someone would tell me, oh, you hurt Joe Blow's feelings because you said this. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I would feel horrible. Well, don't say anything. They'd say, she just, because I would never intentionally hurt someone's feelings. And if I've hurt anyone's feelings out there, I am apologizing now, but you need to tell me up front. Um, so Ticket to Life is about life, like I said. And the only reason I bring this up is that from the beginning, when I started this podcast, it was and still is about life and things that many of us go through and hopefully share with others to know that they are not alone in anything that they deal with in life. I have talked about so much that I can't even remember all of my podcasts. This is like number 170, I think. Um, and I'm hoping that some of you have found some comfort with some of the past Ticket to Life podcasts. And I have let you know how important you are to me as my listener and that you're worth so much. You are worth so much. And not because you're listening to this podcast, because of who you are. A lot of us don't see how we affect others' lives. They don't realize how important they are to someone. And again, we need to be having that open communication and tell people how important they are. Since I have really connected with God in the past few years, I've always had God in my life, but I will not hesitate to now mention him and let you know about him and his love for us. I've always had faith in God, but my walk is so much more different now. Again, if you don't believe and you feel as though your life is just grand, good for you. You don't need God in your life. That works for you, great, I guess. But of course, did I just hurt someone's feelings saying that? I hope not. But I hope that someday you will connect with him and you will feel more love than you have ever thought imaginable. Jesus, the Son of God, actually mentions hypocrites and warns about consequences. So if someone has thought that I'm a hypocrite, you are right. Now, I can admit it. Admitting that you are something and not admitting that you aren't isn't a good trait. It's just not. Um, you have to be honest for who you are and what you say in life. You just do. So we look into the lives of celebrities and say something like, wow, look at their life. Do you know all the shows that would be off the air and how many people wouldn't have a job if we didn't have gossip or hypocrites to tell us what some people are doing and how they are living? And we don't even know these people. Where it's like a open book to their lives because that's the life they choose to lead. Now, if there were no shows on this, we wouldn't have that TMZ, no access, no Hollywood 411, no e-news, no hard copy. And actually, I don't watch any of these. I had to look them up because I don't watch any of these shows. Maybe when I was younger, I might have. I just don't. I have my own life to lead, that's the only important life to me is my life, and of course my family. We all talk and we like to listen to things going on in others' lives. And I will tell you, if you feel the need to criticize someone and just make sure you have the facts and not what you're thinking, you gotta watch what you're saying. What comes out of your mouth at any age? I told someone that everything happening in our country, I'm not happy with it. A lot of people aren't. Now, not everything is bad. I am proud to live in America. It is a great country. So I expressed my feelings because they were complaining about things in the U.S., and that's fine. It's your opinion. Great. But I keep my mouth shut. And honestly, things that are happening are out of my control. And there isn't much I can do other than pray for my country. Now, I didn't say that last part about praying, but I should have. But all I said was, I can't do anything. It's out of my control. But when I said this, I I said, "Oh, this is out of my control, so I can't worry about it." And they said, "Well, you could always protest." Okay, people, I am 67 and have protested once in my life. I'm done and done. I'm not going to protest again. I so I didn't say anything when they said I could protest. I just looked at them. And after that, they said, "Well, if you do protest, you might get deported." And I chuckled and said, "Where are they going to send me?" And there were crickets heard. I mean, come on. FYI, I am a proud Mexican American and born and raised here in the good old US of A. And I'm Texas, in case you're wondering where I'm from. And so were my parents. They were born here in Texas. My grandparents were born in Mexico, and I am proud of who I am and where I come from. So, again, get the facts straight. I could have gotten mad at what was said, but I just laughed because you have to admit, folks, it's pretty funny. It's weird, but pretty funny. Facts, folks. So, they are so important when you say things, especially something like that. So, again, if you are wondering why I'm a hypocrite, it is to let you know that many of you, to let many know that they are not alone in life's trials and tribulations and not alone as being a hypocrite. Life's trials and tribulations, ups and downs, celebrations, disappointments. Will I continue with Ticket to Life and hope that God understands and forgives me? Yes, I will. And I will try to be a bit more gentle when I speak about certain things and try to figure out why we do and say things that we do and what we say that can be hurtful or be malicious. Of course, we are humans and we make mistakes. But as I have said in the past, when you make a mistake, learn from it and always try your best to be kind and teach your kids to be kind. Now, if you're listening and I have said anything in this podcast that has hurt your feelings or felt as though you were being attacked, I apologize because if I'm wrong, I will say I'm wrong. But now let's move on to why about this podcast. This is so interesting. I'm through about telling you why I'm a hypocrite. And anyway, to this, I am getting ready to type up this script or my notes for this podcast, and it's Easter Monday. And Pope Francis has passed away. Now, some people on social media are saying, pray for him. But I say, pray for us. He's gone and looking down at us to see what the Catholic Church next move will be. He's gone and we are left behind. So if you ever wondered, Catholic, probably not, but just in case, Catholic is from the Greek sense, and it means universe. So it's a universal church. It's general. So many people don't know much about the Pope other than he is over the Catholic Church. The Pope's job is about leadership of global Catholic Church as the Bishop of Rome. Um, and also, he's the head of Vatican City. I couldn't even imagine running a small city, much less a holy city. So, Pope Francis, thank you for your hard work and your blessings that you have given many. And I hope the next Pope is ready to fill your holy shoes and can do just as good a job as you have done for the Christians of the world. Now, in case any of you are wondering who is running the show at the Vatican now, it is Cardinal Kevin Farrell. He's running everything right now. He is acting as the head of the Vatican. And Kevin Farrell was actually the bishop of the Dallas Diocese before his promotion to cardinal. Funny, you never think of them having normal names like Kevin. Hey, Kevin, how's it going? Oh, just running the Vatican today. You know, you just don't think that. But anyway, and you would not say that. That's disrespectful. But anyway, and yet they are normal people who have who accept and they've chosen God. They chose the dedication to dedicate their life, and all dedication of life is going towards God to share His word and to spread prayer for peace, especially in the Middle East. And FYI, a cardinal is high-ranking official and the member of the College of Cardinals who serves as an advisor to the Pope and is eligible to vote in for the Pope conclave. Um, Now, I don't know if any of you saw that movie, but if not, it's so good before they start the process of getting the new Pope in. Conclave, it was a movie last year, and it had Ralph Fiennes in it, John Lithgow, Stanley Tucci, Isabella Rossellini, and Carlos Diaz, I believe was his correct pronunciation. It explores the political part and definitely the power struggles of the Catholic Church during the papal election. It was so good and interesting. So, if you're curious as to know how things are kind of done, the movie is pretty accurate. What I've read, it's not totally 100% accurate on how they vote in the new pope, but it's very interesting. Even if you're not Catholic, it's very entertaining. It's well, look at the list of actors; they're amazing. It is a thriller of a movie, and I am sure you did not see that coming. A thriller, but Conclave is actually a book that was written in 2016 by a writer, Robert Harris. And yes, when they vote and let the people of the world know who has been chosen, they will use the signals, the smoke signals from the Sistine Chapel, the chimney, to announce the elections of the new pope. I mean, but they've been doing this for centuries. Um, the black smoke indicates that the new pope has not yet been elected. The white smoke signifies that a new pope has been chosen. So the history is amazing to watch. And anyway, it is in my mind. And if it has to, it's just amazing. So if you can watch it after it's happened, it's just so interesting how they do that. Well, as usual, my mind has gone off to from being a hypocrite and telling the story to the Pope. That's how my mind works. If you've never heard Ticket to Life, I can go from one topic to the other. The other thing is this past month in April, but you will be listening to this in May. In April, my husband turned 71, my handsome husband. So happy birthday to my belated happy birthday. He had a good birthday. And my mom's birthday and my sister-in-law's and my niece. May is a good people born in May. So anyway, this is Henrie, and thank you again for listening. I really appreciate it, and these are all my thoughts and opinions. You can agree, you don't have to agree, but it's almost time for us to part ways. I just want to say again, I cannot thank you enough ever for listening. And just to let everyone know that the new podcast comes out weekly and it's released as I'd been releasing it every Thursday, but now I'm going to be releasing it and having it published on Tuesdays. But you can always catch any of the podcast anytime on any platform. And I do have a very, very, very important reminder for you. Mother's Day is in May. So please, please, please do not forget your mom because moms are important. A lot of moms have made you who you are, and that is May 11th. Give her a picture. Make sure to, if you're out of the country or you're in another state, or pick up the phone and just say, hey, mom, just want to say happy Mother's Day and thank you for all you did. And as I've said in the past, some of us were not blessed with good parents, unfortunately, but I hope that if you are a parent, you have helped change things for your life for the better. But anyway, so make sure to definitely remember mom because you know what? This has been going on for, let's see, in the 16th century in England, a celebration called Mothering Sunday was inaugurated. So, see, it didn't even start here in the U.S. Interesting, because I always thought it was a U.S. thing, but perhaps not. But I just wanted to remind you that because it is important. It's very important. And I know many of you educators are counting the days for summer, which I totally get and understand because I know that I am counting the days because my daughter's going to be here for a whole month with my grandgirls and my son-in-law. But I know you really don't care about my personal life. I'm just getting carried away and talking away again. Anyway, so back to my podcast. It is going to be released new ones every Tuesday where it used to be Thursdays. And who knows, I might even switch it back to Thursdays. I'm just switching around, maybe getting some new listeners and helping some new listeners with something in life. But also, just a reminder if you live in the metro Atlanta, Georgia area, Ticket to Life is on every Thursday morning at 7 Eastern and 8 Central on WDJY 99.1 Talk Radio. And if you have TuneIn or Radio Box, you can always listen to it on that also. If you have a story, because we all have a story, we actually all have a story in our life that could help someone. Again, to let people know they are not alone in any situation, be it divorce, be it illness, be it something, and you would like to share your story, please feel free. You can actually send me a text on the description of all the podcasts. At the very top, it says, send us a description or send us a text. So it's on the very top part of the description. And of course, I don't even know if you read descriptions or you just go for the title of Ticket to Life or whatever. It makes you happy. Just, I'm thankful that you're listening. But anyway, you can, or also you can send me, which I have gotten the emails for certain podcasts that people want to talk, would like for me to talk about for regarding certain things. But, and you can send me a email, Ticket to Life. Yeah, you spell it out. I should have made that email a little shorter. But anyway, Ticket to Life 022@gmail.com. And also, that is on the description of the podcast. And also, I have important numbers like the suicide hotline and the domestic violence hotline, just because those things are happening in our world, unfortunately. Um, but anyway, I thank you so much for listening. And if I made you uncomfortable with being a hypocrite and think I need to stop listening to this lady, that's okay too, because I'm just saying what I'm feeling. And just be careful what you say to people, especially if they're family or really, really good friends. So until next week, I think that's it. I think I've covered everything and anything that I could possibly cover for you. But thank you again. And I will be praying for you because we are always, always in need of prayer. And when I say that, I literally want you to know that I am praying for you. I will say prayer for my listeners because we are all going through something. It could be something personal. It could be something at work, something in your, you know, relationship, but I will pray that God will protect you and hopefully guide you into his path and help you through whatever it is you're going through. And also, I'm thankful again for you. And I am always saying at the end of the podcast, please go find your blessings. And some people don't understand what that means. And what I mean by that, if you were able to get out of bed, if you were able to go to work, if you have a roof over your head, if you have food on the table, those are blessings. And sometimes we tend to forget those things. If you can listen to this podcast, it's a blessing for you and me that you actually enjoy listening to the podcast or hopefully get something out of it. I'm really hoping that I have helped some. I'm not, that's why I say I'm not a therapist or a doctor. I would hope that I can help people know I'm not the only one going through this because sometimes it's a aha moment. This is not only happening to me, it's happening to other people. And you may not know these people. I don't know them. But sometimes I know that when someone has shared a story with me and I do put it out there, I know that someone else has gone through it. Again, faith can get you through anything. Even if you have this teeny tiny mustard seed of faith, it can get you through anything, but sometimes it just takes a little longer. But if you listen, you will hear God's voice. He'll talk to you, He'll direct you. So anyway, until next week, I'm rambling. I'm sorry. Thank you again. I will be praying for you, and please go find your blessings. And until next week, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week, and good things come your way. Thanks for listening.